Imagine it's 2011. Pixar is on top of the world. They've just come off a decade of hits, and Bob Peterson, the voice of Doug the dog and the co-director of Up, pitches a simple, brilliant concept. What if the asteroid that changed life on Earth forever missed? Everyone loves it. It was a classic Pixar movie with a promising emotional journey. The hype was insane for the next 2 years. Concept where dinosaurs became farmers. In Peterson's original version, Arlo was much older. The story was heavily focused on a dinosaur community that had evolved into a sophisticated agrarian society. It was about the evolution of an entirely different civilization and wasn't about family. The tone was quite quirky, slightly more comedic, and heavily influenced by Peterson's specific brand of humor. But as the 2014 release date approached, everything changed. By 2013, Pixar's brain trust, the elite group of directors like John Lasseter and Andrew Stanton, realized something was wrong. The story was stuck. It was overcomplicated. The relationship between Arlo and Spot wasn't hitting the emotional notes Pixar is famous for. So Pixar made an unbelievable decision. They pulled Bob Peterson off from his own project. The release date got extended from 2014 to 2015 because the film didn't have a director. This was a massive deal. It meant 2014 was going to be the year with no Pixar movie. At that point, the company was in big trouble, and they laid off nearly 5% of its workforce. With Bob Peterson out, Pixar turned to Peterson. He's a Pixar veteran who was actually the inspiration for Russell in Up. He was told, "Fix the movie and do it fast." But Son didn't rewrite the script. He examined all the work that had already been done and realized that to save the heart of the film, he had to change everything. He decided to strip everything back. He wanted to turn it into a boy and his dog story, except the boy was a dinosaur and the dog was a human. The most unbelievable part is, when a director changes, the actors stay. But not here. In 2015, just months before the movie was set to premiere, Pixar announced they were replacing almost the entire voice cast. Big voice actors like Lucas Neff, John Lithgow, and Bill Hader got replaced. Lithgow later remarked that he'd recorded an entire film's worth of dialogue only for it to vanish. For new voice actors, they brought Raymond Ochoa to show Arlo younger, more vulnerable, reflecting the new simplified emotional core of the film. The villain of the movie changed. No one thought that the villain would be nature itself. The crew went on research trips to the American Northwest, specifically Wyoming. The place was very beautiful, but the unpredictable power of the wilderness made Son decide the environment should be the villain. This created a massive technical challenge. They were building photorealistic landscapes, clouds that were 3D modeled rather than painted, water that looked real enough to touch, while the characters remained stylized and cartoony. At this point, the team was in a pressure cooker. They were making a 5-year movie in less than 2. The stress was unimaginable. The animators were working non-stop, fueled by the desire to prove that Pixar still had the magic. When The Good Dinosaur finally hit theaters in November 2015, it wasn't the civilization movie Bob Peterson pitched in 2011. It was a quiet visual poem about grief and survival. It remains one of the most polarizing films in Pixar history. Some love its simplicity, others miss the complexity of the original pitch. But one thing is certain, the journey of making the movie was just as perilous as Arlo's journey home.